I told my autistic brother to kill himself, and he did. I'm not sorry. He was an absolute nightmare to live with. He would say absolutely horrible things to my mother, who was a single mother after our father abandoned us. I know it was probably because of my brother. Now I don't blame him. My brother would say my mother was a whore and hope that me and my mother would be killed so he could have the house to himself. He'd have violent mood swings often. Nothing compared to the absolute nightmare of bringing him out in public, where he'd stomp and scream if we didn't take him where he wanted. And in the end my mother didn't have the energy to refuse him anymore. He'd literally lie flat on the floor in the middle of a supermarket and start hitting the ground, screaming. Today I learned we took him to a part of the store he wanted or got him what he wanted. Refusing him wouldn't do anything. One time he went into a store. I left my mother to go to a different part of the store, then ran back when I heard one of my brother's tantrums, and he was literally picking things off the store shelves and smashing them. And my mother was just holding herself crying. Even as an 18-year-old, he was like a 12-year-old mentally. A few months back, I was leaving to go to work. My brother was being awful to my mother again, and I finally snapped at him big time and said he was a worthless, depressed loser and to just kill himself and we'd be better off without him. That was a short version of a longer rant I had at him where I said things I won't repeat here. Long story short, I found out later that day that my brother jumped out of his bedroom window down 10 stories to his death. At first I felt a bit guilty and braced myself for the verbal assault I thought I'd get from the rest of my family. But surprisingly I didn't get told off at all. I just tried to comfort my mother the best I could while she mourned. I'm happy for her now though. And I'm especially happy for myself. I now get to acquire all of his things. I get peace and quiet. The main positive is my mother will focus her attention on me. And I will make sure to make her feel appreciated. She's 39 but looks about 50 due to the aging of stress. I feel so sorry for her having to deal with all of this alone. I cook her meals all of the time and do my fair share of the chores around the house to make sure she has a well-deserved rest. The worst years of her and my life are over. Now that our problem is 6 feet underground and hopefully will never come up in conversation again. P.S. I'm not encouraging bad behavior or telling anyone to do what I did. I'm simply confessing what I did. Sometimes I go to the bathroom just to pass time during my internship. Right now is one of those times. I don't like to stand around and do nothing for fear of looking lazy, but sometimes there literally is nothing left for me to do and everyone says no when I ask if there's anything I can help with. I can only walk around in circles pretending to recheck the same shelves and hunting for non-existent tasks for so long. I can only do it once or twice a day before it looks weird, but in addition to passing an extra minute or two. Bathroom is the only opportunity where I feel comfortable checking my phone. I have 3 days left before my rotation ends and 3 hours to go before this particular day finishes dragging on. Mourning the loss of my 10-year-old brother and feeling helpless because no one seems to understand me. My little brother had childhood cancer since I was in 5th grade. At that time I didn't really grasp the reality of the situation and I honestly treated him kind of badly. He would constantly throw tantrums and in my eyes, at that time, I thought he was immensely selfish and spoiled. He would be in and out of the children's hospital for 3 years and my mom would always stay with him. Seeing my mom be so stressed and drained from everything, I seemed to blame it on him even though it wasn't his fault. At one point I even wished he would die while crying in the shower. I regret ever thinking that because it became my biggest regret in my life. He died 5 years ago when he was 10 and I was 13. I think about him every day and I miss him so much it hurts every time I think about him. I regret not telling him I loved him and how I treated him when he was alive. I regret ever thinking about him dying so he wouldn't cause my family even more pain. But, the truth is that his death caused me so much pain and I've definitely become more closed off now. Whenever I'm sad or in a stressful situation, I think about him. He's constantly in the back of my mind. I dream about quite a bit too. I recently had a dream where I was sobbing throughout the whole dream because of his death. My whole family was there and never understood why I was crying and kind of just brushed me off. They thought I was crying of something stupid when I was actually crying about my brother and all my bottled up emotions. I woke up crying and having a stuffy nose and realized the dream was my reality. None of my family members truly understand me. This is because I keep my feelings bottled up and cry myself to sleep at night. I hate confrontation and I especially hate being vulnerable in front of people. I feel like this all started since his death and I mourn for him every day. I sometimes wish I was dead so I could be with him, but I would never kill myself because I know it would destroy my mom. For the past 5 years, I just feel helpless. It wasn't a fart. I have 3 hours left on this road trip. Not your dirty confession. Today's my birthday. I'm over 35 years old. Yet I'm fucking excited like an infant girl seeing a pony. It's been 4 years since my bitch then wife of 1 year left me for a coworker and left me devastated. Life was miserable for the following 3 years, but this year, I'm dating the woman of my dreams. She's beautiful inside and out. She's actually celebrating my birthday today and I'm just excited. I feel alive again. The problem is no one knows me as the excited guy, so I can't express my excitement to anyone. So you guys will have to do. This isn't your typical, dirty confession. So downvote me if you want. I don't care, it's my motherfucking birthday, woo. Comma.